Hi, this is a reading for the Twin Flame Sacred Union Collective for June 16th. This is just a look at where the energies are today. And for some of you who are interested in astrology, you're probably tracking the full moon in Sagittarius. I am someone who just focuses on what's happening with the energy and with sacred union. I'm not a channel. I don't have another entity that moves into me and gives me messages. I'm not a medium. I am an empath, and I am highly sensitive to frequency and energy, and I'm able to translate energy into language, and that's what I do in these readings. I'm directly connected to Source and to Gaia, and I have more than 25 years of validation on this point. Take a look at my explainer video if you would like to find out more, and also read the description beneath this video. This is how I do my readings. I have a spread that I've already pre-shuffled and laid out the cards, and I'm new at this, so I'm a clumsy shuffler. At some point I may be able to shuffle so that you can see it on the video, but I'm not going to take the time to fumble and shuffle for you. You're just going to need to trust me that I've done this and laid this all out before I started recording. So the way that I organize the information for me in my readings, I have tuned in to these energies. For me, Source and Gaia are a combined energy from the golden egg. The divine feminine is represented by the black egg, and this is the divine feminine side of the reading. This is the masculine side, the cosmic egg, and this is the masculine side of the reading, and this is the information that comes through from my connection with Source. I have picked one card just to come in as an oracle card for the divine feminine, and one for the divine masculine, and I have two cards that are clarifying or just bring it a deeper level of communication from Source. And I have additional clarifying cards for the divine feminine and for the divine masculine. When I tune into sacred union, I'm tuning into the divine feminine and the divine masculine within me that is in unity, that is no longer in duality. And from there, I then expand my consciousness into the collective balance between divine feminine, divine masculine in our spiraling process of union with Source. Some people call that journey ascension. However you choose to identify it is fine with me. However you choose to self-identify is also great with me. We're all making our own individual choices, and those choices are feeding into the overall movement of the collective. So please take what resonates with you and leave the rest behind. And there's lots more information about my Patreon page, and I will be doing an extended reading in which I will go into the shadow dynamics that are at play from the energies that I'm tuned into today. So I guess with that we can just begin, and I will start with looking at what Source information is inviting us to pay attention to for today and probably for the next few hours. I'm not sure whether I'll do an additional reading tomorrow, but I may if the energies are giving me a nudge to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to read from the book, The Animal Spirit, The Wild Unknown Animal Spirit, which is this deck with the animals. Again, I do not do tarot. I am an intuitive reader. So this is about tuning into energetics and energetic archetypes that are represented by these cards. And then I do my own kind of free-flowing thing as it comes up. Now in this deck, Crow comes under the element of air, and the triangle with the bar across it is a shorthand symbol for air. And Crow represents this information. It's long been a symbol of magic. A Crow personality is drawn to the supernatural and has a gift for seeing the unseen, knowing the unknown. It is said that Crow holds within its mind's eye the three realities, past, present, and future. Crow energy is potent and should only be tapped into when the mind is clear. Those with Crow tendencies must balance their lives with a healthy diet, joyful friends, and regular self-study. And when in balance, Crow is riding the energies of being strong, clear, and psychic. And when you want to bring your Crow energy into balance, daily meditation practice is recommended. So again, the way that I work with these cards is I'm looking at how source energy is inviting us to come out of duality. So in this instance, I'm looking at what the element of creativity, otherwise sometimes labeled as magic, offers us as we're looking at the collective today and what Source is encouraging us to undertake. Next we have tuning into the energy of Lion, and I'm going to read from the book about Lion. I have my own sense of what this energy represents, and for me in this reading, Lion represents the ability to stay open and clear and strong in our truth, transparency, trust, and discernment as we spiral deeper and deeper into the mysteries of the new and the unknown. It takes strength to do that. It also takes strength to continue your spiritual journey in a dedicated, committed, open, and honest way every day. And it also takes strength to dive into shadow. The symbol for Lion is the upward triangle, which indicates the energy of fire. Patient, regal, a complete master. The lion is a master of the fire element and the living mascot of self-transformation of land-based consciousness. A lion personality dedicates their life to personal and spiritual growth. This dedication inspires some and intimidates others. Therefore, the lion is respected by all, but known intimately by a few. Some mistake the lion as hard to access, or perhaps aloof, yet those with a keener eye know better. Lions are observant. They operate in stealth and are precise in their words and actions. They do not waste energy or resources. This card reminds us that self-mastery is available to all, no matter where or when our quest begins. Now, when in balance, and Source is asking us to bring balance to ourselves in the area of self-mastery as we're moving into our sacred union, when in balance, lion energy is the epitome of both peace and strength. When out of balance, lion energy is withdrawn and too serious. And to bring lion energy into balance, again, we look at the habit of daily meditation and engaging intimate friendship. The noble eagle emanates the light of the sun. This great bird is both physically and spiritually strong and represents mastery over the elements of fire and air. When the eagle appears, you're soon to be thrown into the karmic fire for the sake of your transformation. The eagle pushes us to be our best and brightest selves and stops at nothing to see us shine. Grasp the sun in your talons and hold on for the ride. You are stronger than you think, eagle child. When in balance, eagle energy is bright, radiant, and it is open to each and every challenge. When it is out of balance, it is controlling. And to bring it into balance, we are encouraged to fly into the unknown. So the energy today is interesting. We have a combination of air and fire. We're asked to bring our energies into balance, air and fire today. That's coming from Source. And now I'm going to look at the divine feminine energies. First we have the peacock, which is also symbolic of air. We have the elephant, which is symbolic of fire. And we have the rabbit, which is symbolic of earth. All right, let's take a look at these cards. And again, because I'm new at this, I'm going to actually read from the book and then freewheel it. Peacock, inner beauty, compassion, assimilator of anything. The beauty of the peacock is unrivaled. It's easy to think that this comes from its plumage, but the secret of the peacock is that its beauty resides within and extends outward indefinitely. This adept creature can assimilate or digest all experiences in life, so it doesn't harbor resentment, conflict, or past pain within its psyche. The peacock type is extremely rare. Not many of us have reached this advanced level of acceptance of the self and others. When in balance, peacock energy is confident and kind. When out of balance, it can't digest difficult situations, and to bring it into balance, perhaps meditation on the navel will be helpful. That's for the divine feminine. Today, the divine feminine is being enticed to focus on inner beauty, compassion, and being able to assimilate many different kinds of energies and experiences. Elephant is symbolic of the energy of fire. Unstoppable, auspicious, and wise. The elephant is arguably the most auspicious figure in the deck. Like Ganesh, the elephant represents immense wisdom as well as good fortune. It's said that the elephant is the destroyer of obstacles, so if this card appears when you feel stuck, rest assured the path will soon become clear. To add to the mystery, the elephant is also known to create obstacles in order to steer us in the right direction. Trust this gentle, noble creature. It illuminates the way with the light of self-knowledge. When in balance, it is a one-pointed focus, generous, loving. When it is out of balance, it misunderstands fate. To bring it in balance, we are asked to focus on our ability to trust. The other thing I would like to say, for me intuitively as a reader, is elephant always symbolizes to me our ability to remember our multidimensionality and also all experience in which we live in fluid timelines, past, present, and future. Elephant holds all of this memory. So today I feel that the divine feminine is being asked to honor her capacity to remember all of who she is in all of her timelines and to bring all of this memory to the dynamic of sacred union. Rabbit represents the element of earth. Rabbit is afraid of everything, overwhelmed, and frozen. The rabbit loves to remind his friends that someday the eagle will swoop down and eat him. He talks and talks and talks about it so loudly, in fact, that one day the eagle hears and thanks him for the great idea. Then rabbit is swooped down upon, grabbed, and consumed. Rabbit energy is alive when we are scared, most often about the future, and then we become our own worst enemy. We spin up a dust cloud of fear and then complain to others that we have become lost. So notice your thoughts and words. They do shape your destiny. When in balance, rabbit is sensitive, a problem solver, and a good listener. When out of balance, rabbit energy over-explains, talks fast. To bring rabbit into balance, a day of silence is perhaps a good idea. Now, when I see this card represents for me as a reader the overall energy of anxiety, the kind of anxiety that we feel when we are feeling worried about being victimized, about being consumed without our consent. And for me, rabbit represents what happens in earth energy dualities when the divine feminine loses her center and she becomes anxious and fearful and unable to remember who she is in all of her depth and beauty and wisdom. And she tends to just become a procreator of more rabbits when she's in that state of anxiety, because going into the energy of procreation rather than co-creation or self-mastery entices her to breed, and to breed more little beings who can be anxious and worried and become victimized prey. So today, Divine Feminine, take a moment to check in with yourself and see whether you're feeling anxious in your role as being the divine igniter of sacred union, intimacy, and truth, trust, and transparency. And now we'll go to the divine masculine side. And in the element of water, we have okay, for the divine masculine, the first card is the energy of otter. Unobstructed joy, playfulness, contentment. Perhaps the most joyful creature within the animal spirit deck, the otter represents absolute bliss. Otter energy is the playfulness of a child available to us at any age. Otters have a giddiness and reverence for life itself without the presence of doubt, worry, or skepticism. Now imagine yourself with a little bit more otter energy. What would your life look like? And what would it take to bring you there? The otter card begs these questions and wants to transport us to that precious place as soon as possible. Celebration awaits. When in balance, otter is full of love and needs nothing. When out of balance, it is gloomy, sighs, and makes silly excuses. To bring otter energy into balance, dance. Create a party or a celebration. Next we have butterfly, representing the element of air. And this is another energy that the divine masculine can focus on for where the energy is in the collective. Undergoing great change and transformation. The energy of the butterfly is with us during periods of transition, since air is the element of heart. This usually involves our relationships, or if you love your job or your career. Since transition is usually accompanied by some kind of discomfort, be extra patient and kind during this time, especially if the butterfly is you. Let solid friends and activities support you like a cocoon, or blow on you with love as you are coming out of your cocoon and unfurling your wings for the first time and allowing them to dry so you can fly. Committing to one daily routine, a meal, a practice, or a prayer or affirmation done at the same place and same time will do wonders for lifting a butterfly's spirit. And when in balance, cheerful and graceful energy. When out of balance, fragile and frustrated. And to bring into balance daily routine. Now, as a reader, butterfly is one of the images or archetypes that represents transformation to me. Transformation is not a result of fixed routines. Transformation is a result of listening deep within and following spontaneous impulses. And you will note that the fully formed butterfly flits from place to place, flies through the air, allows its impulse or the wind to take it to its next place of landing or the next place that it will gather nectar for nourishment. So I would tend to disagree that a daily routine, same time, same place, is beneficial to the butterfly. That kind of energy is really much more beneficial to the land creature. The air element is one that moves freely, 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 freely like the wind. Now we have the energy of a gazelle. And a gazelle represents, again, the spirit of fire, even though it is an earth-based animal. Again, this is the card for the divine masculine today. And I remind you that we both have divine masculine and feminine within us. And this is what we're bringing into balance and harmonizing in sacred union with Source before we're able to harmonize and come into sacred union with an external other who is part of our journey. Gazelle. The gazelle energy represents heightened awareness and ability, and it represents vulnerability. The gazelle represents supreme grace. With every move, this awe-inspiring beauty emits sophistication and elegance. Gazelle personalities are often hyper-aware of their surroundings, and they can border on being super vigilant. This can inhibit them from enjoying the beauty they've spent so much effort in cultivating. No more worrying about all those predators out there in the wild. When this card appears, it's time to get back to the present moment. Sit down, find your breath, and acknowledge the bounty that surrounds you. Let it nourish your gentle, elegant, graceful spirit. Now, when in balance, gazelle energy is graceful, perceptive, and artistic. When out of balance, we may have issues with food allergies, insomnia, or racing mind. Bringing into balance, yoga, a cozy home, good food. All right, so we have today for the divine masculine energies, you can focus on playfulness. They can focus on being free to move from place to place as they are experiencing the best and most precise energies for their transformation. And we have heightened awareness and ability combined with vulnerability. All right. Now, well, this is really interesting to me today, and I have to say that as I reflected more on the cards that showed up and where the meeting place was of where my consciousness is and what's going on in the collective today, and looking a little bit deeper and feeling into it more deeply, I felt something interesting taking place. And I was drawn to look at the characteristics of Otter and Peacock and how unlike each other they are. I mean, Otter is just always soaking wet and a mess and playing and munching and chasing and moving around, while Peacock is the epitome of regal formality and of strutting one's stuff. And so I was thinking today how interesting it is that Source has asked us to bring the magic of creativity to bring union between these seemingly very different animal spirits. So I thought that was really beautiful, and I'm experiencing that on my own journey of sacred union, because I'm finding that there's a uniting of seeming opposites. For instance, the otter is a water animal and the peacock is an animal of the air. And you would think that those two beings might never find a meeting place, or let alone be able to make a deep connection and have a strong relationship with one another. And so I really felt being drawn to look at this and seeing how we're being called divine feminine and divine masculine to come together and surprise ourselves and each other in how we're able to make room. Otter bringing playfulness and peacock bringing just wonderful quality of regal and beautiful self-acceptance. So I thought that was interesting as I was looking more deeply at what I'm feeling is happening with the energies and the possibilities of what we're being invited to do as we are spiraling through these energies today. Being more present with ourselves, being more present with our divine masculine and feminine within. Whoops! There go the cards. I'm going to leave those for now. It's not really important. And then I also felt the same was true with a strength flowing in between a very dense, heavy, massive, land-based animal carrying so much memory and long life and living in community. And the singular butterfly, so light, so free, barely, not even a quarter of an ounce worth of weight compared to the density and the power, the lumbering power of this massive, massive elephant consciousness. And I was really contemplating, as I was looking at the cards that have come out, the strength, the poise that it takes to weave a bridge between the consciousness of the lightness of a butterfly transformation and the consciousness of the transformation of all the memory that the elephant carries, past lives, timelines, and to once again have Source bringing us together and bringing these two things out of seemingly opposite perspectives and unifying them within ourselves and within our partner. So I really thought this was a very interesting insight into the way that these cards presented themselves today. And this is also true with gazelle and with rabbit. Gazelle is extremely nimble and fast and can make incredible pivots and turns and get out of the way of a predator with such speed and grace. And rabbit is also very quick and very agile. And I thought it was interesting that perhaps the energy of eagle Source is bringing us into a perspective of how do we take the really upward air view, seeing the big picture from an incredible height, so that both gazelle and rabbit can cease worrying and feel that for a moment they can trust their environment and they can trust themselves and their ability to adapt and move quickly, and to really be grateful for their hypersensitivity and for their ability to scan their environment and respond very, very quickly to all new information in their environment. And I think as we're in our sacred union journey, we're also invited to respond and be open to all new incoming information, not in a way that we find overwhelming or difficult or exhausting, but in a way that really helps us remain nimble and flexible and feeling and responding to every new wave of energy that we're invited to ride as we go into the spiral of coming into union. So again, I really appreciate the way these cards showed themselves And I just wanted to share that with you as a little bit of a deeper reflection that's just coming from me on an intuitive basis. I'm looking forward to making more discoveries like that as I continue to bring my awareness to the changing energies that are happening within the sacred union dynamic, to understand the attributes that we're each bringing to this dynamic, as well as all of the virtues, and then of course to take a look at shadow. So I hope you found this interesting, and it is a way for you to, if you happen to have this deck yourself, or if you recognize yourself as having the attributes of the peacock, the elephant, the rabbit, the otter, the butterfly, the gazelle, and also really tapping into your higher perspective from an eagle point of view, your grounded and masterful perspective from the part of you that holds lion energy, and the grabbing the shiny object that's you in all your glory, and knowing that that's part of weaving the transformation that is the process of being in sacred union. In terms of oracle information for the Divine Feminine, we have happy. This is where the Divine Feminine may be finding she is most centered today, because she's feeling really very content with the journey she's on with her sacred union. She's feeling really happy about the inner balance she's feeling today within herself. Okay. And for the Divine Masculine, we have mending. So today the Divine Masculine can really just rest in a deep knowing that he is mending in his ability to come into balance with his Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine within himself, within his relationship with his Sacred Feminine, and the two of them coming into relationship with Source. So again, these readings are not gender specific. If you are in a feminine body in terms of your genitalia, you could be carrying masculine energy as your emphasis. And this is the energy of the electric and electromagnetic, whereas the feminine is the magnetic energy, returning processed, transformed, refined information back to Source. Hey, this is what I have for you today. I hope that you found it interesting and useful, and a reflection perhaps of what you're experiencing as the energy flows within you today as we are heading into this full moon energy. Thank you for watching, and if this is where we part company, I appreciate your liking and subscribing to my channel, and if you'd like to continue on to see the extended of this reading, the link is in the description below. May the Source be with you. Take care.